Alright, so this one is for a legal course, and it's a drag and drop activity, and we can view that full screen. You'll see that I've used the template, so the Captivate style template is in Box. If you download the latest version, it would look something like this. So it's similar to the video style guide. And then you just drag them in like this. There we go. If it's wrong, it comes up with an incorrect caption, and then you can reset it like that. I think one of the things that came up in discussion a few times with a few people is about adding so much on the screen. Like, how do you, if you want to have like 10 or 12 drag and drop things on one screen, it looks a bit congested, and you sort of want to break it up. So I thought to get over that obstacle, I've done this a little bit differently. So the information's there so that the user can read through it, and then when they're ready they can start the quiz, and then it's slide by slide, so they match the legal term with the definition. So if we take a look at the project, how it's done, what I'll do is I'll set up a new project, so just so you can see from the start how you would work with this. So the first thing I do, I just took a few notes here. Here are some tips. Work with the latest Captivate style template, so that's in Box. So even if you've downloaded it, don't keep using that, because I do update it from time to time. So keep going into Box and then downloading it from there. So what you'll see, I favorite the Captivate folder, and here it is here. So that's Captivate style template. Download that and then check your download box, and there it is. Now don't open it, but create a new project from that template. So I'm going to go File, New Project. Oh. Alright, Project from Template. Select the template. Yeah, and there it is there. You can work with this by adding and deleting slides. So I'd go create a blank slide and then select from the master slide. So see the header there? That's all been set up. So create a new slide and then add this one as a master slide and work from that. It's for everything. So the smart shapes are here, and I use them for just about everything. Avoid using buttons, images, text captions, widgets, and all the rest, because what I've found with most people so far is the problems that they have seems to be related to using all these other things. You can do pretty much everything if you use the smart shapes. So if you wanted to put some text in there, then you go to the properties. I'd just make it the opacity 0 so you can't see it. Take away the border, double click in it, and then that's where you'll type. We'll use the Lato font. We go with regular, and I think around size 18 seems to be pretty good from what I've tested so far. So let's say that could be our instruction. With drag and drop, you'll need to first set your objects on the screen. So we'll set a number of objects, and we'll say that this can be our drag objects, so the things that are going to be dragged, and we'll set up several of them, and then I'll set up some drop objects here. Now to make them draggable, droppable, go to Interactions button here and click Drag and Drop. And then this is where you'll select the objects that you want to be draggable. So that's step 1 of 3. So I'd like this one, and this one to be all draggable. And I'm going to make these targets here droppable. So notice how it's got the blue border over it. Click Next. your answers, right? So this one's going to match this one here. I'll make this one match this one here and this one up there, like that. And then finish. Okay, so they've been set. Another suggestion I've got is when creating drag and drop objects, name your drag and drop targets immediately, because you'll find this a lot easier. So I'll go up into the properties pane, tick that, and go drag one. I'll copy that and I'll paste that here. Oh, can't do it yet because I've already got it. So I might make that drag 2 and I'm going to make that drag 3. The drop targets do the same, so name them. I think this was 1, right? So that will be drop. I'll call that drop 1. And I think this is 2. Is that right? Yeah. So I'm going to make that drop 2. And then I'm going to make that drop 3. Now, because we've already set up the drag and drop, you'll see that the tab is here, so we can set the settings for this page. You'll see that the actions on success, on failure. When the user gets it right, you can make them go to a success or failure, go to another slide with the message. They can try an infinite number of times, or you can set a limit to that. So you can make it 3 or 4 times, and then if they get it wrong, then maybe on failure, go to slide 4 or something like that. Okay, so you can set all of that here. By default, you've got the failure and success captions here. So this is where you set your correct answers. And you'll notice, just if we click in here, see how it's much easier now by naming convention. So now because I've got drop 1, I know that drag 1 relates to that. Drop 2, drag 2. So that can save you a lot of time if you follow those, that sort of naming convention. There we go, and then that's been done like that. So if I go back, have a look at this one here. See that button there where you preview? If I click that, then it sort of shows me visually which one, which is the drag and which one's the drop thing. Yeah. So this is just one approach. It's a bit different to the others, but I think it sort of it frees it up. You've got more space. So, and with this, so I just set 1 up. So I set up one slide, make it right, follow all the naming conventions. So like everything's all drag and drop, and then copy that, and then paste the slide in, and then you don't have to do it over and over again. So it's saving you time. So I've copied that slide, I've pasted it in, then I can change the drag and drop. So with the second one, maybe it's this one here. So what I'll do is go to options, set correct answer, and then I'll change this, right, to the right one. So maybe it's this one here. See, like that. So I think that's another good tip as well. Don't repeat yourself over and over again, doing all the same things. Try and avoid that by getting the first one as good as you can. Make sure that you've named everything properly, and then just copy and paste that slide. I think one of the approaches here, I think with this one, first one, see how I just sort of copied them all in? And then with this project here, I sort of shuffled them around, and then I just deleted one by one, so that it shows that they're sort of progressively matching each drag object with the drop object as they work their way down. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think that works?
Yeah, try it. It's quite good.
Yeah, I suppose you'd sort of have the easier one at the end or something, maybe. Yeah, made another similar one here. Yeah, right. So there's a bit of content all in a table there, but once the students have sort of looked at that and revised, then they can test their knowledge with the drag and drop activity, so that they can sort of move it in like that. So the content was pretty much in the last slide, and then this is a bit of a opportunity to test their knowledge. Yes. Yeah, no, definitely. So there's different ways of doing it. I've sort of just gone with the probably the easier way is just to add the slide. So I've just added 3 cards. I've decked them so it looks like they're movable. Like, oh yeah, that's a drop object, that's a drag object. So avoid those instructions and just make it obvious, just the way that you style it. So you can actually make one slide and just add all your drag objects there and then have, do it that way. It is probably a bit more difficult though, I'd say. But then, that project you made that had the variables, it was random. That would be possible if you took that approach. Yeah, so you can do that as well. Yeah.
I can talk to you afterwards.
It's but this is just another way of minimizing it so they don't have so much text on one page, because you don't want like 20 drop objects and 20 drag objects and everything's all cluttered. So I think the best strategy would be just to break it up a bit and then just sequence it out so that they're moving in some sort of sequence, and then they're just doing 3 lots at a time. And I think that by the way it looks on the screen, it's probably a lot better than having a really cluttered type project. Yep, so that's another one too. So feel free to take a look at this in your time. Just go to the website, all the samples for everything. How do I go back? Showcase. Yeah, here. So today I've shown you this one and a bit of this one as well. But you can download the source and go on a computer that has Captivate, so you can play around with it yourself, or build from it if you want. Sample is there as well, so you can see what it looks like, and also the videos.